Hey everyone, MeltingMan234 here, and welcome to another episode of Forgotten Media, where I dig up some stuff on the island of forgotten Christmas specials. Well, this time it's going to be something interesting, because it's related to Doctor Who! Yes, Doctor Who, one of the most famous sci-fi series of them all. And since the series already celebrated its 50th anniversary, then I've already arrived late to the party. So consider this as a late tribute for the 50th anniversary. Now obviously the series won't be featured on Forgotten Media, but I've had people ask me to do the missing episodes or cancelled projects, and that's gonna be a while if I'll ever do that kind of stuff. I've only watched the episodes with the 11th Doctor, Matt Smith. Well, mostly. So as you can tell, I have a lot of catching up to do with the series, and getting a better idea of these topics and knowing more about the previous incarnations of the Doctor, especially now that we're going to be introduced to the 12th Doctor. So for now, I'll be talking about a TV series that is very obscure, K-9 and Company, the first Doctor Who spin-off that was released on BBC on December 28, 1981. There may not be much Christmassy stuff to do for this episode, but hey, it takes place during Christmas time, and K-9 sings "We Wish You a Merry Christmas." So there, that's my excuse on why I'm featuring this as a Christmas special. The episode opens with probably the laziest intro I've seen. It just shows random pictures of Sarah and K-9 while the intro music is playing. I will have to say that the music is kind of cool. It has that kind of vibe that only the 80s can do. So now it's time to talk about the first and only episode in this series, A Girl's Best Friend. The story focuses on Sarah Jane, one of the many companions of the Doctor, going to her aunt's to celebrate Christmas. However, she's gone to America and can't contact her by phone, and discovers a package left behind. So Sarah and Brandon Richards, another companion of the Doctor, unbox the crate, and of course, it's none other than our old pal K-9. So Brendan and K-9 have a good time expressing their interest with science and all that jazz, until he is captured by some thugs who happen to be members of a secret group of dark magic, and are planning to use Brendan as a human sacrifice. So now it's up to K-9 and Sarah to save Brendan while uncovering the mysteries behind this organization. Now, I ain't no Doctor Who expert, but at least I know who some of these characters are, like Sarah Jane, who has had various adventures with the Doctor, and K-9, the robot dog who has a laser cannon that sticks out, kind of like Pinocchio's nose. The other characters like Brendan, the nerdy student boy, I think, Sarah's aunt, who was mentioned several times in Doctor Who, or at least what I've heard from, makes her first physical appearance. Then you have some police guys and a gardener and some guy with a dog and so on. So if you're a Doctor Who fan and waiting for some epic explosions and extraordinary sci-fi adventures full of Daleks and Cybermen, then you'll be disappointed that this special has none of that stuff. The episode moves at a very slow pace, and K-9 isn't introduced until 13 minutes into the film. Then after that it goes back to being slow again and kinda picks up during the climax. If it wasn't for the fact that a few Doctor Who characters were in this TV show, I say it looks like a drama mystery show, since that's what it is. People mysteriously disappear, and someone has to find out who did it. The settings are nice, and the acting is okay. The scenes at the organization's hideout create some dark environments, but it's all taking place next to an abandoned church. Sure, it's abandoned, but to me it just kinda feels out of place. Couldn't they have found a better hideout, like some kind of underground cavern or a cave? Not just out in the middle of the frickin' nowhere where they carry torches that can easily pinpoint their locations? Besides, Christianity and witchcraft don't go together. Since I'm not that familiar with Doctor Who, I have no idea on the continuity of the spin-off being connected to the TV series. So I'll just say it takes place during the times of the 4th Doctor. The idea of having the Doctor's companions together to go on adventures isn't really a bad idea, it's just not that well put together in this film. Sarah and K-9 spend the majority of the film together with Sarah's casual personality, mixed in with K-9's scientific mumbo-jumbo that sounds like something out of a Star Trek episode. There's also a lot of cutaways in this film, which kind of annoys me, and sometimes they can goof that up. In the scene where Sarah and K-9 begin their search to find churches in the hopes of finding the organization's hideout, it first shows them in daylight, but then it cuts to them driving at night. What happened? Did the film pull off an Ed Wood move or something? Well, anyway, the series came and went, no network wanted to make this into a TV series, and it was never seen again. Eventually, the film was released onto VHS and later ported onto certain DVDs with other Doctor Who specials. The only other time you'd see Sarah and K-9 together in the Doctor Who TV series was in the episode The Five Doctors, in which the fifth Doctor meets his previous reincarnations of the past. The reactions for the spin-off weren't that well received, but there have been certain people that actually like the episode, so I guess it's one of those mixed opinion shows, kind of like the Geico Caveman show that I already covered. I personally think that hardcore Doctor Who fans, or Sarah Jane and K-9 fans, would probably like this film. It's just like other obscure spin-offs like the Jeff Dunham Show or Napoleon Dynamite the animated series, which are more suited for hardcore fans. So in closing, K-9 and Company was a failed attempt to make a spin-off to Doctor Who, but it eventually gave the creators some better ideas for better spin-offs, like having Sarah Jane have her own series that lasted for about 4 seasons, and eventually giving K-9 another chance in having a proper TV series. But that's another story. Well, that wraps up this episode of Forgotten Media. Tune in next time where I'll... Hold on. This is episode 49. Wow, I didn't really expect to make it this far with the series. And you know what that means? The next episode will be the 50th episode special!